It must be Christmas because we're talking about accessories. Hello and welcome to Modern Toy Fair. I am your host, Mr. Modern Toy Fair, and I am joined by the founder of the Neca Illuminati, the delayer of shipments, the procrastinator of pruders, the perfect person, my YouTube wife, Mrs. Modern Toy Fair, Jarmar _games. But that's not all. I'm also joined by the man Modern Toy Fair has full custody over. The man Optimus Prime popped and refuses to stop. The Twilight Knight, the master of mech, the three-pump chump of taking the show off the rails, Nate. How you
Tally
doing?
ho.
Hello.
How you fellas doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. I'm a little hoarse, apparently. I need to take some drink, too.
You're a horse?
Mm-hmm.
You're not a whore, man. You just like to have fun.
Well, that's true.
I appreciate
Enjoy your
it.
life.
No
Enjoy
slut shaming
life.
here.
No, absolutely not.
Maybe it's something with going live because all of a sudden now I have it in my throat too. I don't know what's going on.
That's a different only something. Anyway, so we are here to discuss some accessories. So a lot of companies out there, a lot of toy companies, some give you a little more accessories than others, and some give you better accessories than others. So I want to start right off the bat with what toy line or brand or company in your opinion has your favorite or like best accessories, like the ones that you look forward to when you buy a figure.
Nate, can I go first?
Absolutely.
Yeah. I'll have the short, sweet answer to no surprise to anyone. NECA, I guess.
I'm not gonna lie, I was expecting you to say Nintendo's.
No, I mean Nintendo's have like some really cool like little small things that are like from maybe one scene or something to add that little extra chibi like detail to it.
Mm-hmm.
But for the most part it's very standard. I would say it's kind of like what Marvel Legends was before it became what it is now. There's next to nothing. But I mean, obviously NECA. I mean, that's my main line. That's what I mostly collect, all the Ninja Turtle stuff. And honestly, even if I collected other things, I don't have that opinion. I'm curious what you guys think, but I feel like NECA is always like very detail oriented as far as the accessories. Even not just the turtle line, but I would even argue in some of the other lines, some of the horror lines and things like that, that it's things that like make sense, but also like sometimes completely unnecessary, but in the same breath, it's completely necessary to like that toy or that, that figure or whatnot. So of course I'm going to say NECA. That's obvious.
I'm going to double down and say NECA as well, honestly, because I look at what they do on a figure-to-figure basis because most of their stuff is released figure by figure instead of waves. They don't really do waves anymore. But, I mean, yes, first thing that came to my mind was Ninja Turtles, especially the animated line, considering how much random accessories that you got packed in there that weren't necessarily that character specific, but they showed up in certain episodes or were neat little Easter eggs, things like that. I super appreciate that. That's one of my things. That was something that Michael and I disagreed on, was like, I love when, like, especially import companies throw in accessories for other figures, like fun stuff, extra. That's what I feel like the Ninja Turtle line did. I also really appreciate what they do across the board on their horror lines. Like, I just opened up the Gremlins 2 2-pack of the Demolition, and like you get like a barrel, and he has a hard hat. He has a beer can that says like Grem's Light on it, which is fantastic. And he's got dynamite sticks. He's got a bundle of dynamite. He's got a plunger thing to light the dynamite. Like, all these little things were in there for really what is a super quick gag in the movie. And most of those figures are, but they throw in so much cool stuff. So across the board, like Universal Monsters has some really neat stuff. And then the fact that they branch out and release whole accessory sets, because there are few companies that are doing that, with the exception of things like what Vala's doing with Action Force. They have accessory sets, but they are not necessarily character specific or things like that. That's more like the modular.
some character specific now.
Yeah.
So he's doing like actual packs that
yeah.
are like with like alternate heads that are more expressive
Yeah.
and like parts and stuff that are for that specific character. So he is slowly kind of transitioning to that.
Yeah. And that just really shows that they're seeing the unmet need, that is across the board. And initially, I think Action Force especially was kind of taking advantage because when Classified stumbled out of the gate, people didn't really love those first few waves of Classified, and until they kind of righted the ship. Action Force was there to kind of meet that need, and now, Classified is firing on all cylinders, and it complements it as well.
Mm-hmm.
You can either do Action Force by itself, or you can do that to supplement your Classified with those accessory sets, which is awesome. Or, if you want to go, use the different figures for pieces, or vice versa, take G.I. Joe stuff and make it into your Action Force. So that's where I think that's fun, because that lends itself to it. So I just thrown out some extra things to note, but because I didn't want to be just like Jarmar and say NECA, but it's true. It's honestly true. It's
so hard to deny.
Yeah, unless I go import, because I do appreciate SH Figure Arts, and especially Dragon Ball, the stuff that includes with it, especially when it is things like effects pieces, which they don't do as much anymore.
No.
Or even just little extra figures that are accessories, like Chaozu come in. Didn't he come with Nappa originally,
No.
or did he come? He can fit on Nappa.
Yeah, I think he came with Tien, didn't he?
He might have. I don't know. Either way, those are fun little things. He wasn't like a fully movable figure in that release. He came with one later, but that was a fun accessory. So I really do like what they do as well.
Yeah, because they do have a lot of cool, like they do the Dragon Balls as well, which is nice.
Yep.
And they do multiple variations of them, so that way, like,
yeah,
if you don't want just normal clear ones, you want the weird, like, frosted ones.
Yeah, I didn't realize that, because I was a little disappointed after collecting all those Namek figures through Premium Bandai, that the Purunga Dragon was going to come with a set of Dragon Balls. I was like, well, I collected those. Like, I got the other ones. I thought that was kind of a cool thing, but they are different because some of them are summoning ones, or things. So they're variants, which is cool.
Yeah,
because then you can set that up. And
they do a lot of cool stuff. I'm so torn.
Say it.
Because I'm very upset over some of NECA's choices of accessories.
Okay.
But there's no other company that like can compete with the quality of their accessories.
Mm-hmm.
So it's unfortunate, but I have to agree with both of you, because the accessories they do give us are incredible, and they give us the most random things. Like, I bought a fucking Alf figure for a bucket of popcorn. Like, just shit
and
like that.
And it also came with, like, it was like broccoli and like a radio, like a CB radio thing. Like, even if you didn't want anything to do with Alf, that was some really cool stuff. Because like I was thinking of you, and I meant to send you a picture, but I took all that stuff out with the big barrel and the sticks of dynamite, and I'm like, you might want this Gremlins 2-pack without the Gremlins at some point.
Yeah, you're talking about this. I'm like, what is this? Like, do I need to look this up?
It's pretty cool. Yeah, it's pretty cool.
My only concern would be scaling, because of the way they are.
Right, they're actually not bad.
Okay.
So they kind of would fit in, I think, with 1/6. They're a little larger, but 1/12, not 1/6.
Yeah, 1/6 would be way too big.
Be way too big.
Stick dynamite would be the size of a figure at that point. So my problem with NECA, though, and why I have such a hard time giving them the like my favorite or the best, is something you mentioned already. Except for, like, as much as I do like some of those deep cuts, like I like that they include random things, especially with the turtle line, where you get like all these things, which would be nice to flesh out a diorama if you could afford one, kind of thing. But my problem is they don't know when to pick their battles on that, and they do it with everything, which then you miss out on vital accessories that make more sense. So I'm specifically mentioning the Gargoyles line.
Okay.
So in order to
Are
force
you gonna start bitching about the wings?
I know it.
hold on, but there's more to it than just the wings.
All right.
So on top of the fact that they are forcing you to buy the characters you don't want to get the folded wings, so that way you can actually have room on your shelf to display these, because the wingspans on these things are 1.5 feet each. It's the fact that the stuff they're putting in the boxes are so unnecessary. Like, Brooklyn comes with a fucking joust. He probably had that in one episode. Why the fuck do I need a joust?
Whoa.
Or Goliath came with a fucking jalapeno. Like, just shit like that where it's like, it's cool, but that's not how anyone's going to display him.
But wouldn't you, as an accessory freak, love stuff like that?
Well, I have no need for a joust in general, and one jalapeno isn't gonna, like, I do some, like, slice of life photography, but not much, not enough to where I need a single jalapeno. Like,
well, I guess.
Well, it just what should he have come with?
They should have came with,
other than the wings.
A jalapeno is not going to displace the cost of the wings.
No, but
Right.
like, he came with that. He came with a book. He came with, I think there was like one other accessory, but like they were all just like very random things that you might not display him with. So like, you could have gotten rid of all those tiny accessories and then got rid of the extra hand that needed for the book to adjust the cost for the wings, which you can't say they didn't, because they did that with the 8-bit version of Goliath. They got rid of all that bullshit, and he comes with one extra set of hands and those wings. So instead of having something that's vital to the figure, you're getting a bunch of random bullshit that's got like one-off episodes, which is great for other lines because you're still getting those. Like, the Turtles didn't not get necessary sets of hands or weapons or things that are vital to that character. They got that on top of the other stuff. Where this, it feels like they did it so they didn't have to include the wings, so then they could use those to sell those other characters that 10 people actually want.
I'm sorry you're mad, but it's marketing 101, and it's same as a Build-A-Figure or something like that. So I don't see the problem with it. I don't.
I do, because a Build-A-Figure
Michael.
is a part of a $20 toy. This is a fucking $40 figure line.
Yeah.
That's a huge difference. That'd be like Super 7 selling you different pieces to the different figures to make you buy their entire shitty line of toys.
Well, they do that. They do that now. They offer those extra pack of heads.
Yeah, if you buy all,
from them.
but they aren't necessities.
Right, you buy all of them from there. No, and I don't think the closed wings are necessities either.
I think they're more necessities than a chili pepper.
But that's not an equal. There's still not an equal.
Okay,
trade-off.
it's more important than a book, a chili pepper, and.
But they also know that there's going to be that hardcore and loud part of the audience that's going to demand these other figures. And so what's a better incentive, a trade-off? Like, hey, we're going to make these, but to offset the costs, we have to include, the folded wings to increase or incentivize sales.
They could have went a different route and went with, like they do with the Turtles. Pack the human people in 2-packs. And then you don't have to fuck everyone else over who doesn't want the humans.
It would have been like an $80 2-pack.
Or
make them exclusives.
Leave out all the wings and put them in another. Are you just buying a box set of wings?
I'd buy an accessory pack that was nothing but the fucking wings and like stuff that was like vital.
I mean, and maybe they will someday. This is NECA we're talking about, and you'll be mad when they do that because you bought all the figures.
No, I didn't buy all the figures. I quit the line.
Well, that's your choice. I don't see the problem with it.
My problem is,
I want that? Is no. I've even said before, I would rather do without the Build-A-Figure sometimes because I'd have to pay extra money to get a character that I want completed. So that's what you're doing here. But I also don't think the folded wings are necessities unless you're building a large display where I feel like you're going to buy those dumb figures anyway because it's part of the big display that you need to have the smaller wingspan for.
If you just do the core members of the Gargoyles team, you're looking at what, 6 characters?
I don't know. I honestly,
but you could place them.
Too old. I'm not that into it.
Like in different ways, but
I've honestly never
with
seen
those wings, you would need shelves like what Nate has behind you, and half of them would have to be like zip tied or tied up to be hanging, versus just being able to have them on display on a normal shelf. Like I could not. They would take up an
sounds
entire
awesome,
layer.
Michael.
So
That sounds cool.
But Michael, I do want to ask this because, and I'm being realistic. I'm not trying to I'm just gonna say what I think would happen, and this is purely conjecture. But would you be okay then if Goliath came as a super deluxe ultimate with his folded wings, but he was $55 instead of $40?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Maybe they're going to do that. They just haven't done it yet. They have to sell the initial ones first to bake back the money, and then they can keep releasing that shit.
Well, here's the problem, though, is they aren't even keeping up with giving you the opportunity to get the other wings because half the human characters that have been announced haven't been solicited yet. They keep being like, here's another gargoyle, or here's a mech, or so you can't even get the wings you need for the ones you've already bought.
Because they're finished with Aliens, they're finished with Predator. They can't do Nightmare on Elm Street. They can't do Friday the 13th. Turtles is, they're reaching. So Gargoyles is a super popular line for them. So why wouldn't they drag this out? Again, I'm just looking at the marketing side of it.
Then they run into the issue that we always talk about with Turtles. They don't have the main characters out because right now all of the Gargoyles are what's out. So then they're going to have nothing but the shitty characters left.
Until they release the super ultimate versions like they're doing with the Turtles, which is going to come with the wings, the folded wings, other bits of accessories.
I don't think they're
three
gonna do that.
jalapenos. We don't know that.
We don't know, but the difference between the Turtles and this is the Turtles themselves always sell out.
They're evergreen, right?
The Gargoyles, you can go into any Target and find them.
Right. But what I'm saying here is we're only just now getting these Ultimate Turtles after they've been released. I mean, how many times have they been re-released, honestly? 5 or 6 at this point. So, yes, they don't sell as well, but the Gargoyles might get a reissue 2 years down the line once the planning and cost spread out has secured them a profit and they've completed the line. Then they can be like, oh, fuck, we're going back to do them again. And you get all the shit to begin with. And then you can be fine with that because you got rid of them and you were out of the line. And you're like, yes, Randy, this is what I always wanted from the original day one. I love you. You're the best. I'm so happy that you came out of hiding. I was shocking that you were so nearby, just chilling in Nate's basement. I found him behind the water heater. That's an old deep cut for you if you've been around for a long time. But that's where I'm at with that.
Yeah, so Neca has the overall best accessories is what I think we're getting at.
So here's the only thing I have with Nate's thing is if they do that in 2 years, it's not gonna be $55. It's gonna be like $75 with the way they're raising prices.
Yes.
At that point, I'll be priced out of the line. I'll be like, get fucked. That's the Super 7 prices right there.
Yeah. Super 7 Ultimates be $125 in 2 years. So
But
yeah, so quality wise, great. Planning, not so great.
Depending on who you are.
I will push back and say, if I give you 100% yes, they totally fucked the Gargoyles line, which I don't believe. They still average scores across the board. They equal up. Let me just remind you, just for a second, that the last recent Friday the 13th figure that they were able to release, which was Part 7, came with every single instrument of death used in that movie.
I'm not saying that
with the exception of one sleeping bag, which that's one of the greatest kills. But whatever, everything else you get. Same with Part 5, you get every instrument that he uses in the movie. So I mean, they totally shit the bed on Gargoyles. They really should just have themselves
a wing pack,
just accessory packs.
Yeah, maybe, and again, maybe they will. They just haven't. They got to get them all out first.
But then they're gonna do me dirty like they do with the Universal Monsters, and they're gonna be like, "Here's $40 for a set of wings and a chili pepper."
What if you're like the minority and no one's asking for the folded wings? It's a possibility.
I don't think I'm the minority.
It's a small number.
Yeah,
I feel like there's a pretty big number of people wanting them because everybody talks about the same problem: is how do I display these?
And it's a great way to offset the people who want the figures that won't sell as well compared to the people who want folded wings. They put them together. Yeah, you got to take it. to get it. That's your choice. You can choose not to, or you do. No problem. I think it's genius.
I don't know. There was a certain co-host who's sitting to my this way to my left, well, screen right. I don't know. Who used to agree with me on these kind of topics about how they're going to lose money because there's people who don't want to spend money on figures they don't want for certain things. So,
is that me?
Yes, that's
he
you.
is talking about you.
There was one example, and that is not even the same thing. Like, folded wings are not essential as actual wings for the character with the Sam Wilson.
That would be like if Goliath came with no wings at all.
Right.
At least I'd be able to display him then.
Some wings. Which you can. Just take the wings off. Done. They don't even stay in the figure that well.
Yeah, that's another thing is the wings are done shittily to begin with. So like having the unfolded wings is even more pointless. Those things fucking.
Those aren't even. I wouldn't also say those are accessories. That's what I was gonna say way back. But we can move on because it's like a part of the figure. It's not really.
So wait, you're telling me that after all this, that these are vital parts of the figure, not even accessories?
No, I don't believe they're vital.
Well, if it's part of the figure, not accessory, that means it's vital.
Well, you have wings.
But you already get one.
You get wings.
You get wings. If you got no wings,
then it's fine. That's the only thing. It's essential to you, and that's all that matters. You know what I mean? Yeah. But like, I wouldn't say across the board it's essential. Because I hung mine up. And also, this is another perspective. We can move on from this because I don't think this is really consistent to like the accessory discussion. But I used the fishing wire, and I have him hung up over here, and I'm one of the people who, like, I just wanted Goliath. That's all. I didn't want anything else. So if he would have come with closed wings, I would have probably just, I guess, tossed him to the side. You would have
put him on a shelf.
No, because I have him hanging.
Yeah, like, but if you well, first off, if he would have came with both, you would have had options.
How boring of a gargoyles display. You have all these gargoyles.
And they're all just standing
with their wings folded.
Did you actually watch the show?
No.
That's how you see them most of the fucking time.
I've never
seen
but
like 15 out of 20 minutes is them walking around with folded their wings.
But that's how you're going to display a dynamic figure like that?
Yeah, because they don't pose worth shit either because the ankles can't support them.
Then hey,
hang them up.
At this point, like, I don't know what to tell you. You're giving all kinds
hang up this conversation.
Some honorable mentions though, like as much as we give shit to Hasbro, they do have some cool accessories, like the fucking Kirby crackle effect. Granted, it doesn't fit in Ultron's mouth unless you alter it, but it fit in the old Ultron's mouth. So that's more of an issue on the figure, not the accessory at that point.
I will give them credit, especially because like G.I. Joe Classified, those are all really awesome accessories. Now they're also really well done. Like they've got a lot of detail, and they're stiff. That's the only other way I can put it, because the vintage collection has been going through a real rough time of just super gummy accessories. So they're not good. Like so to see another Hasbro team knock it out of the park like Classified does, and then also Transformers, because Transformers was really the first line that I saw on a regular basis that was including like effects pieces, even at a smaller.
I was like, I didn't know they came with accessories aside from tinier Transformers.
They don't come with a ton. Like they usually have some sort of snap-on, snap-off gun that becomes something else. But they really was one of the first companies to start including blast effects in their own figures. There's a ton of third-party companies that do it, and do it honestly better, because that's not what Hasbro's in the business for. And I'm not making a joke. Really, they are. But just the fact to see that big of a company acknowledge the fact that people are using these as displays, and it adds to the fun value and whatever.
Not to mention also, back to the G.I. Joe Classified, they make those all like integrate. Like the figure can literally attach every accessory you get to its body in some way, shape, or form 9 times out of 10.
Yeah, for the most part. Like the difference would be like removable hat or hair pieces and things like that. But yes, their weaponry is almost always all stowable.
Yeah. Honestly, Marvel Legends has cool accessories, but they keep including less and less.
Yes.
Yeah, I don't
yes.
even know if we would.
And they
should even
actually
mention
did,
Marvel Legends at this point.
Yeah, like I will give them some shit because like while they did include effects pieces, it was the usage of the same effects pieces, which I guess Transformers did too. So I guess I should give some credit, but like I just got so tired of those same Iron Man effects pieces. Every Iron Man comes with the same effects. Every wizard or sorcerer or whatever came with those same.
I liked those because they came in different colors, and I'm like, magic would look
them.
the same. Like,
rationalizing it.
I'll give
magic.
You know what?
The
I'll
same.
give them that. I'll give them that. In the Marvel universe, all magic looks the same. We're just going to say that. That's fine. But where I was really impressed with what they did is they were relatively unique effects pieces with the Lightning Collection line, with the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers.
Ooh, that's true.
Most of those were around their weaponry, and they could, have some sort of cool, crackle or lightning and things like that. I thought that was really neat. That line is on hiatus, I guess, right now, which we'll see if it ever comes back.
It's left some people upset spaghetti because they have unfinished teams and they didn't release all the helmets of the power of the Mighty Morphins.
Yeah, I don't even know. I mean, well, they really screwed up this whole 30th anniversary thing too. So, which that was another thing where they did include more accessories and more pieces, but they kind of screwed that one up too. So, yeah, giving them credit, but also being like, shame on you.
Yeah, and also because they're like kind of stingy. Like the first Indiana Jones figure came with like 6 pairs of hands.
Right.
Every single one since that, no extra hands.
Right, and that was look at the first wave. If you look at the first wave of Star Wars Black Series, so you had like Darth Maul decked out, actually 2 different looks you could do in the figure. R2-D2, a small figure, but came with a ton of attachments. Luke Skywalker came with a removable helmet, a lightsaber hilt, attachable lightsaber, holstered gun. I'm trying to think of the other last figure in that wave. Doesn't really matter to my point. But either way, they were pretty decked out. And within like 2 or 3 waves, we weren't getting anything anymore. And it was just a real bummer, just because that line started, on fire with all these cool ultimate looks, and just so quickly went downhill, especially on the accessory count. You never get hardly any extra hands. You might get a blaster.
I don't think I've ever seen, like in the current day, extra hands with a Star Wars figure.
Yeah, it's rare. It has to be something like specific, like like a Darth Vader, where like you can unattach the hand, and because he got his hand cut off.
It's like a battle damage thing. It's not like an actual like here's a fist versus like a gripping hand or something like that.
Yeah, because if I remember right, that Luke came with gloved hands and bare hands, and I remember the Han Solo, which was in Wave 2, came with bare hands and gloved hands for when he was flying, and he also came with a Stormtrooper belt. Yeah, he came with a Stormtrooper belt for the post Death Star scenes because he still had that attached. And I thought that was, again, great attention to detail, really cool extra stuff. They wouldn't, I mean, there's no way they're going to do that. Now we barely get what we get.
Yeah, you essentially get, if it's a helmeted character, they get the helmet comes off.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
So
so
they do some great stuff, but not so great. So
I feel like I already know the answer to this one too, but the next question would be like, let's say you're either like, obviously with me I take pictures, but if you guys have your displays, are there accessories that you put with other lines that didn't come with them? And if so, what company makes those accessories?
Let me just answer this again. No, they're all the same, so sure. And because of the like detail of the accessories, they generally don't they're not interoperable just because one's Toon and the other one's Mirage, or although the Mirage,
the Toon and the Mirage
Ronin
stuff can
yeah,
but it's more so like the movie and the Toon kind of thing.
Yeah, the movie and
or like the arcade and the Toon.
Fair, yeah. But yeah, no,
or the breakfast cereal version, and
or the Wazoo one that was
right.
That was literally limited.
The tour edition,
but
I still have
that also goes with saying in the same breath, like pretty much anything from the line, like the Toon line, or like it it all mixes so well that you can like just move things around, especially for the villains. Like I'm organizing all this stuff now, and I have like all of these different like guns that Rocksteady and Bebop can have, or like it's just easy to just pop and choose wherever you want to put anything. So it is very free and diverse in that regards. But switching it with like Marvel Legends would probably look pretty funny. That's what I would say. Let alone scaling wise would be off. But no, for me that's gonna be a no for me, dog. Everything just sticks with what it came with. That's pretty fair.
I'm very conflicted on this. Because my ADHD and obsessive compulsive, it's very difficult for me to allow another line to use accessories. I would rather the accessories be organized and put away rather than someone else get them, and then the fear that it would probably get lost or separated. Now, have I made exceptions? Yes. Especially when you have things like where I talked about earlier, where figures come with parts for other figures. That's what it's generally made for. Now, am I a super psycho about that? And even when sometimes it would really help someone, I might keep that part because it came with the figure I bought, even though it's not for it. I've gotten better at that. Because I used to not at all. I'd be like, nope, it's mine. It's my precious. It stays in this box. It stays in this bag, whatever. I have gotten better at that, just letting those pieces go. Like, I was also the guy that didn't want to remove like the DVD out of the DVD Blu-ray combo. Even though I was never going to watch that DVD because DVDs are gross. But I also, like, if somebody was like, well, can I have that? I'd be like,
I need that.
Maybe.
I see.
I don't know. Like,
that's a little different for me because, like, I agree with you 100% on that because it's still like you have that empty space now where that belongs, but we don't keep the boxes for most of our figures, so you don't see that empty space the same.
Yes, that is true. Although anything import, I do keep the box on. Yeah. That's weird.
No, it's not, because if you ever decide that, like, I'm done, those having the boxes is much more important than the Marvel Legends, because the Marvel Legends, once they're open, it doesn't matter. Imports, if you don't have the box, that even like fucks you even more.
Yes, even if you don't have the shipper, sometimes like that can be an issue. But besides that, I definitely have gotten better at it, and there's a few things here and there. I especially will do it like within something similar, or like if like one transformer comes with a part that I think is better with another, I'll swap those, and do that. Maybe the gun is the cartoon accurate instead of the comic accurate, and I want it this way, so I'll switch it, that sort of thing. But like I remember on Figuratively Speaking, Corey would talk about certain accessories that he would just give to his predators or something like that, and I was like, oh no, I'm sorry, I can't do that. So yeah, I definitely have. While I have gotten better, it's still an issue for me. So I generally don't.
Okay. So while listening to you guys, I realized a glaring error in my first answer. And
you don't give a shit about the folded wings.
No, not that. So Neca isn't my favorite accessories.
Okay. It's Hasbro?
No, this one's actually going to surprise everyone because of how much shit I talk about this company.
Oh, I know.
Mezco. Because literally at this point, I only have Mezco accessories at this point. I don't have any Mezco figures. So between the accessory packs and then some of the slugfest bullshit that they do in the Gomez stuff, I'll buy the figure and part it out because there's an accessory I want. And that, I think, is the thing that I guess whore out the most amongst my figures. Because like I have a fucking sledgehammer from one of the accessory packs that I put with my Valorverse team. Like one of the dudes has got like heavy duty armor and he's holding a fucking sledgehammer. So like stuff like that. I've got a duffel bag filled with little like plastic stacks of cash. I've got a bunch of gold coins. I've got boombox. There's so many things that I have just in these cases down on the shelf here that get used regularly in photos or get displayed with things. So I think Mezco, unfortunately, more unfortunate than my upsetness with Neca, Mezco is my favorite accessory company. And yeah, I have no problem switching things up and letting other people touch the accessories.
Well, and that definitely makes sense because you even just talked about you'll buy a figure to part it out. You've gotten rid of the figure. So the big part of it that keeps my accessories together with it, you've gotten rid of that. So the figure is gone. So I could definitely then see at that point that the accessories are for anyone. Yeah. So I would even do that. I'd be like, oh, what? And because I have bought things specifically for setting something up with another line, but I did buy that for that use. Yeah. So whatever didn't really, because like I was going to send this to you, but I forgot. I was kind of curious what you thought about the Joker interrogation room from McFarlane. Exactly. Just because, I mean, the table and chairs, I thought of you instantly when I saw that.
Unfortunately, it's sold out, so...
Yeah, okay.
So I will have to wait, but trust me, the second I saw that, I was like, ooh, I need that. I need that. So yeah, 100% was going to buy that just for the setup, and then I looked and it was sold out. Like, you could buy it in a 3-pack with, like, 2 other figures that had nothing to do with the Dark Knight.
Oh.
So I was like... I already don't want these figures, but it doesn't even correlate. This is literally just like a grab bag situation. If this is the shit that doesn't sell, so please buy it so you can get this cool thing. But yeah, even stuff that I keep, like the figures for, I generally don't have a problem. But I've bought so many figures strictly for the accessories, and then sold the figure and stuff. Yes.
But
then why do you care if the folded wings come with another figure when you could just part that shit out too?
Because I can't sell a shitty human figure that no one wants in the first place. If you have to sell the wings with it to get me to buy it, no.
It's the internet.
Trust me, a lot of that stuff. I'm not going to buy a $40 figure and sell a fucking human character that nobody wants for $20.
What? That means you paid $20 for the wings,
which
is only $5 more than what you would pay if you did an ultimate pack with both the character and the wings.
But then I'd gain the character that I want, and I don't have to make the effort of trying to sell it. Like, the NECA stuff already doesn't sell well unless it's like the turtles. So like trying to sell the gargoyle stuff
better than you think.
I tried when I decided I was out of the gargoyles line. I tried to sell mine and I couldn't.
Oh, you mean those? Okay. Yeah, because right now they're so super plentiful.
And that's the problem. That's how the line's going to be in general. Like, why would anyone want to pay me $30 for the human character without the wings when they go to Target and do it $38?
I just think Jarmar and I both were on the same page there that you were getting mighty upset about something you do.
I don't. That's not the same though, because there's a difference. Those accessories that usually I get from these aren't for other characters. They're for that character that I'm buying. I just don't want the character. Right. That's the difference.
We're really focused though in on that. Like if we back up a little bit, it gets real similar. Not right up front.
If you change the situation and look at it in a broader scope, it gets similar. That you could say that about literally everything.
Let's do that.
Like I could say like, oh well, you farted and it smelt real bad, but if I zoom out, it's like you shit your pants. But you didn't shit your pants, correct?
No, it would be like if you say, I'd like to poop my pants, but I'm embarrassed when I fart. And then you zoom out and be like, well, the result's still the same. You just made stinky air. That's probably more. But you're saying I literally purposely buy figures for the accessories.
Yes, but those accessories still were meant
for the accessories.
Because but here's the difference though.
You can't sell it.
I'm not buying that figure for the accessories because I want it as an evergreen thing to use for photography. I want it because it didn't come with the figure it should have fucking came with. That's the difference. Like that sledgehammer didn't belong to a character that I bought and it didn't come with.
It's impossible.
You get microscopic, we're with you. You look at it by the naked eye, it's the same thing. It's the same picture.
It's not the same thing.
It's
because one should have came with the other versus a fucking bucket of popcorn wasn't like it should have came with fucking Leonardo. Like it's a difference. Don't look at me with your stupid Muppet face.
So you enjoy Mezco.
Yes.
And
Only their accessories, not their toys.
That's fair. Okay. And also you enjoy buying figures for the accessories, just not buying the accessory that has a figure in the box.
For dumb humans, yes.
For humans. It's only
dumb
when
humans.
it pertains to humans.
Dumb humans.
I'm making joke of it because I feel like you have to notice.
Mezco releases cool humans.
Mezco releases stuff
Neca.
that people want to buy separately. Neca does not. That's the difference.
Maybe not for $20, but probably for 10.
So I should pay $30 fucking for.
How bad do you want it?
Not enough the bad. That's why I'm bitching about it.
But you would spend $80 to have someone custom make you a set.
No, I wouldn't.
If they weren't available? Oh, yeah, you would.
No, I wouldn't.
Yes, you would. Yes, you would. You would pay 4 times more than what something would cost to have someone build it if no one made it.
I have done similar things, but I would not pay that much for that. I would sooner just be like, NECA didn't give me what I needed and got out the line like I have now.
And that's fine.
Maybe your attachment to the gargoyles is not as strong as you thought. Maybe that's what
I hum the stupid theme
strong,
regularly,
Jamar.
so I disagree.
It seems pretty strong.
So last question before we close out. How do you store and sort your accessories? This one is from Patreon member Sukma Taint.
Oh, well, so I have... Where is it at?
Yeah, you probably have an example. I'm not getting up to go get mine. I was just going to...
Right here.
I'm sorry. Please tell me.
No, I'm just joking. But I do have... the case is behind me. I don't really feel like spinning around. But I assume I have the closest because I just basically copied you guys. So this is the same thing here. So I'm not quite proud of the internals of the case. So you have the case, you got it. It goes in a bigger box, and then you open it up like that, and then you have like the accessories in there. I'm trying to keep them mostly like together. It's easy for me. I don't know how
individual
you guys
turtles or for all 4 of them in one box.
So what I was doing initially, because I didn't think I was going to have enough space, is I was going by the line. So Toon line, and then I would do 2 packs together and so forth. And then I would go Mirage, and then I do it, and then Ronin, and then Movie. So that's kind of how I have it organized. Just because if I do want to pop something out, I know how to easily find it. I was gonna go back later with the label maker and just put like
Roxanne Bebop,
whatever,
Leatherhead and Slash, yeah.
Right. Like this here is mostly like Mirage stuff, but it has like is my brain working right now? Zog's hands, and then like some Fugitoid stuff. Yeah, Casey is
Jones,
in there.
Like it kind of hurts how like many figures, accessories you have in that same box.
Well, the thing is also too is I tried to keep like hands separately because I was thinking I'll go back in and do bags for it, but like I'll have the turtle's hands with like April's hands, so I'm obviously not gonna get those confused. And the turtle hands are basically interchangeable if I'm grouping them by the specific like line, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
So it's messy, but also I think organized at the same time, and it's also not in the trash. So I mean,
I'll give you that at least.
We can go that way. But yeah, everything else I do have a bag of stuff just for like Marvel Legends. I haven't gotten that far yet. So, and then also I have a bunch of shit on my desk.
Yeah, that's my number one storage unit is like all the shit
sucks.
that lays around after I'm done taking photos.
It sucks. I keep cleaning off my desk, and then it's more accessories on my desk. So now I wish we could see how neat, because I still never forget. I think it was what was the X-Men figure?
Oh, Nightcrawler.
Oh, Nightcrawler. I was trying to look over there, but I don't have him over there anymore. So yeah. Anyways, and it had like the little paper strip printed out on it. It said like
Yep.
Neca, and I was like, oh, now I see why you got so angry about me throwing away accessory.
So yeah, I'm a little more meticulous. I'm a little more organized, or try to be. Sometimes things get out of hand. Okay, so all right. Let me show you what I do. Let me tell you a little bit about my sickness, and let me tell you what a little bit I do about it. So I'm going to use this one as an example. So this is for turtles. So I buy these boxes. You can buy these boxes at Walmart. They're like, they used to be sold as sweater boxes, but now they're just like 12-quart containers. And you can usually pick up a 4-pack of them for like, I think it's like $7-8. So yeah, I put accessories in here, and then like I label them. I usually try to get a cool sticker. Like one of the guys at Neotech makes these cool stickers. So I try to get ones that like correspond with like maybe even different versions and things like that. That way I have a cool label. I used to like print them off just on the computer and tape them to the box. But as I found them, more and more like officially, then not officially. I mean, these are
like that, like
whatever.
that, that's something that is a little
not
more
licensed, but
it's
professional.
Looks more.
Yep. Yeah, so like this was an older one that I haven't gone back to in a while. So like here's a baggie, and it's full of a ton of accessories, and they're actually written on the baggie. So in this particular case, this is the Neca video game TMNT foot. So this was from a long time ago. So yeah, I was just writing them on the bag, and eventually that would start to like rub off and wear off, but still like a whole line or a whole wave might be in a large bag that's broken up into smaller bags that has each individual, figure in it. And then there's other ones that I haven't gotten quite to label yet, but they are, in the bags and stuff like that. But as an example, like, yeah, so this is what Jarmar was talking about. So this was an older one too. So DC Collectibles. So like that's usually the top line is who makes it, what media it's from, or what line it is. So this is Batman versus TMNT. If it's an exclusive, or what wave it is in. So in this case, it's a GameStop exclusive, and then the name of the particular character. So that then Alfred. So all of them are like that. DC Collectibles, TMNT versus Batman, GameStop exclusive Michelangelo. Then I was going to grab one that's not turtles, but I don't have one here with me. As an example, but yeah, that's just how I do it. Sometimes, like especially with Marvel Legends, like it's actually Hasbro Marvel Legends on top, and then I put what was I saying?
The wave or something?
Oh yeah, then I'll put the media that it comes from, and in that case it would be like the movie, and then like what Build-A-Figure wave it's in, and then the character name. So yeah, so that's all of that. That's how I do that. Now my Dragon Ball I do slightly a little bit different. So these are the SH Figure Arts. I didn't want to leave them in the boxes because the boxes take up too much space. I kept the boxes, but I put them away. But I wanted to have the accessories available. And the nice thing about SH Figure Arts boxes is they do keep them organized for you. So it's like you're really trading off, the space. So what I decided to do was remove everything from the boxes and put them in their own boxes. So that's where I use these tackle boxes for. So I usually group them by series, and then whatever I can fit. And the little bit of a difference here is like depending on the different types of parts, I will keep the color parts separate. So extra heads will be in separate bags from hands, from separate bags of effects pieces and things like that, because I don't want any color rub on these. So these are all individually bagged, and then put in these little size things depending on the figure and stuff like that. And they're, like I said before, they're grouped in Dragon Ball at least by storyline. So Dragon Ball is all in one. Vegeta stuff is all in one. Cell stuff is all in one. Boo stuff, that sort of thing. So. But what I was going to talk about, sometimes I let things get out of hand and I don't label and put them together. So then I have a whole bucket of parts that I can then organize and work on, because that's how I like relax. Yeah, yeah. And then I create the labels, and then I print them out, and then I put them all in the bags and then organize them that way. But yeah, I will purposely let things get out of hand So then I have more to work on than I really should.
Which I feel like can't be too hard with how many things you consistently have like coming in.
But what I will tell you is this kind of organization does make it super easy for when you do want to part with stuff. So like when, like for instance, when I will bail on a line, like my lightning collection was all organized like this. So it was so super easy to get those listed and sold and shipped because I had them all set up like this. Because like, you and I both, as much as I give you shit, you and I both, we recycle a lot. And this does help a ton.
So I'm not quite as organized as Nate, but I do have the photo cases like Jarmar for my import figures and for some of my NECA turtle stuff to mostly keep things separate. Unlike Jarmar, I'm more like Nate where I do have like little baggies to keep things together because I have had that paint rub before, so I'm a little precautious now. But the biggest difference is I too have the little like crafty tackle boxes, but mine are, I have like 3 of these, and like this one is effect pieces. So like you see, like I have these like word effect pieces. I have some slash effects down here. There's some lightning up here. There's like a Spidey effect. There's some blood. Right now it's pretty empty because everything's sitting over at the review station from when I was taking pictures. But yeah, so I have a bunch of different, and they're from all the different lines. They're even like third-party stuff, all sorts of stuff. I have one that is all food, and like food like plates and oriented like stuff like that. And
jalapenos.
Nope, I don't have that because I sold that.
Okay.
And then I have another one that is all just like normal stuff. So it's anything from like the money stacks, the fire extinguisher from the Token Razor pack. There's weapons, like anything that would be like a not food or not effect kind of thing. And then I do have the Valorverse stuff separate as well from all of that, just because I keep those with the hands and accessories for that team, since I only am specifically doing that team that I'm building. So it's kind of easier just to be like, oh, I can switch those out when I'm wanting to switch them out for photos and stuff. And I also have a couple smaller crafting tackle boxes for like some of the NECA stuff that, like for instance, some of my turtle stuff that isn't like important enough, it'll still be divided in those, but it's not getting its own like photo case kind of thing. Like for instance, like my Super 7 Donnie is in that, and the Last Ronin stuff is because it's small enough that it can fit in that, and I feel a need to like use a photo case for that. So eventually I will when we get more Last Ronin stuff and I can't fit all of the other stuff in there with it. But for now, it's just kind of in its own little thing. I'm trying to think if there's anything else that I do. I do have like some real itty bitty tackle box like sorting cases that are like literally like this big, that I keep some of like my sticky tack in that I use to like stick some of the effects pieces to things, or get things to stick to stands and stuff. I do have a little tiny box filled with any sort of like Mofex, like has the little prongs that some of the hands go on. And if there's a situation where like I bought a couple and like, cause Mofex, it's getting better, but sometimes you have stuff break. So I started buying 2, and if I had one break, I would keep the prongs so that way I could put on an older figure that maybe didn't come with those, because those like keep the wrist holes from like shrinking and being difficult to put on the pegs. So there's all sorts of different like little things like that I do. I think that's really about it. I need to get some different things because I have some effect pieces that won't fit into the tackle boxes. In which case I do have like my diorama stuff, like some of the like crates and barrels and stuff. I have old Mezco figure tins. Like I have the John Wick one and I have the Wolverine one, and I just have those like neatly stacked in there. But there's no lids because there's too much stuff to where I can't put a lid on it if I tried.
Nice.
But It's just kind of a way to like keep it mildly sorted, so it's not just chaos on the shelf.
Yeah, I have fun with my accessories. I you know, like I said before, I it is therapeutic, and so and it's fun with the labels because to make sure I have all the right information on them. And you know, in my head, somehow I think that there's going to be a collector police, and they're going to check on me and make sure I'm doing this all correctly. And
I'm going to jail.
yeah, so
I'm just gonna get a heavy fine.
yeah,
See, I'm ironically the
they
opposite.
never show up.
I'm the opposite of Nate when it comes to the therapeutic part, because to me, putting the accessories away I dread it every time.
Oh,
because I have them in so many different places that it's just a pain in the ass to be like, oh, I have to pull this case out, pull this case out.
Do I have it over there? Yeah, so let me go get this real quick before we wrap
While he
up.
gets that, I will say it has been very therapeutic as far as not putting the accessories away, but breaking down like the Neca boxes and getting rid of them.
Oh yeah,
has been really really
so
great.
much space now.
Yeah, it's so nice of like, and I'm still like crunching stuff down. I've done like 2 full bags of plastic, which is probably why plastic free is not a terrible idea. But
right,
I get it.
Mm-hmm.
But like 2 giant, like I'm talking, I use bags that I would normally put leaves in. That's how big of bags full of plastic. It's bad. It's really bad. But it's like 5-10 years of NECA stuff.
So I have this box here. I think I got this at Menards or something like that. But like, and there's some heavy damage to it because puppy moss would like chew on it and stuff. But so like it has all these pockets and stuff in here, and it's all spaced out. And like this is where like I have like the different size baggies. I have some random just parts. Like if I'll have like a bunch of hands or guns that I don't really know how to identify right now. They're in here. Stuff that I've mixed up and I don't want to get lost, like the Terminator
That's an interesting
Cyberdyne head or hand. Here's a basketball from Alien Resurrection. There's a Nightmare on Elm Street phone. I'm not sure why these are in here, but yeah. And then there's some like pre-printed out labels for stuff that I already printed that I knew that I would need for, although these ones I have gotten rid of already. So like these are
just have them.
I won't be using them. Yeah. There's probably a bunch of that kind of stuff in here. So yeah. So that's like that kind of stuff is all in here. More spacers and dividers. So like this is kind of like the prep station. Like I kind of have this with me when I'm opening up stuff. Or at least I try to, and then if I don't, then it gets just tossed in a bin, and then I got to figure it out later, which I sort of like, and then it's a whole thing. It's really a whole thing. It's dangerous.
My baggies, like, so the big box that the photo cases come in, I don't actually put the photo cases back in that. I have a little tower rack from Michaels that like is supposed to be used for like crafts and sewing and stuff, and I have them like sorted in that, and then I just throw the other shit into the big boxes. So I have my baggies and stuff in there. I've got like parts for stands and stuff like that I'm not using because Mofex, for whatever reason, now comes with like 8 different attachments for the stands. And I'm like, I don't need all these. Just give me like the main 2. So like a lot of different stuff like that just gets thrown in there. Anything else anyone wants to bring up before we close out?
Well, not as much as you do dig some good accessories, and you have kind of made me, look a little differently at things. And,
He's trying to give you a compliment. You should just say thank you.
I was waiting for him to fit it because he seemed like he wasn't done, but I didn't want to be rude and like thank him mid-sentence, so like, thank you.
It's hard for him to compliment you, okay?
That's fair. That's very fair. All right. Well, then on that note, let us know in the comments below. Like, 1, what's your favorite line for accessories? 2, how do you sort your accessories? And 3, do you spread the love, or does everything have to be with what it came with? Let us know in the comments below.
Also, 4, do you enjoy jalapenos? I can't get it to focus.
Oh my god, I hate you so much.
I hope someone just parts those out. I'm gonna buy a whole pile.
I still am in the market of buying Marvel Legends tacos.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Shit. I have that Daredevil figure, but I want that Daredevil figure to be complete.
Daredevil.
Deadpool.
Yeah, I don't think
I
Daredevil.
knew what you were saying when you were saying
I was just
it
making sure there wasn't a
translating in my
Daredevil
mind.
that came with tacos. I was like, is this a thing? Is it cheap to get?
No,
Um,
no. Just my old addled brain.
That's fair. Yeah, comment below with the answer to those 3 questions. Sorry, I forgot where we were. If you enjoyed this episode, please make sure to like and subscribe. Helps us out, gets you tutorial-related content in your feed, including our reviews, how to pose videos, the weekly live stream, and the weekly podcast. You can also check us out Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok at Modern Toy Fair. If you're a fan of the channel and would like to help support us, you can head over to patreon.com/Modern Toy Fair. The link is in the description below. We've got a bunch of different tiers of different rewards. Check it out. We greatly appreciate it. You can also check us out Instagram, or not, we already did that. Check us out tpublic.com/Modern Toy Fair. We've got shirts, mugs, all sorts of stuff with the logos and different inside jokes on them. Check those out. Links in the description below as well. You can check Jarmar out over at tiktok.com/Jarmar_games. Or you can just look up Jarmar_games on TikTok if you're not old and don't want to put in a URL. Nate, what you got for us?
Well, I have a new podcast coming out this week, and this is an interesting new program that we're putting together from the brain of Sukma, or as he is known in other parts of the world, Sukma. This is a different kind of pronunciation. I'm not really sure where it comes from, but just throwing all the different things out there with it. But we're running something called Accessorize This, and it's a brand new. It's a little different for us. It's a true crime podcast. Yeah, we're exploring criminals' use of doll accessories in their reign of death and destruction. So pretty wild, making me look at Michael totally different. But from voodoo witch doctors' use of human hair to create magic dolls, all the way to serial killers who use trinkets of their victims in their YouTube Let's Pose videos. Wait, is that right? Oh, we're going to get into it all. We're going to get into it all, and this may come closer than we ever thought possible before.
Awesome. Make sure to check that out. But hopefully we'll see you next week. Same toy time, same Toy Fair channel. Thank you for watching.